Thanks for joining me today. This is Danny, and welcome back to my Botania series. Today we are going to be making some improvements to our mana generation, and I've actually already made some improvements that we're going to take a look at, and our tree farm, and we're also going to do a bunch of other miscellaneous, just quality of life improvements, including improving our ability to kill stuff, because our ability to kill stuff right now with our Elementium sword is, it could be improved. We'll just say that. So first of all, just let me show you a couple of improvements I made to the tree farm. I replaced the pulse mana spreaders with Elven mana spreaders. The Elven mana spreaders give us a much larger range than the regular mana spreaders like these guys, and they're also faster. And because of that, what I've been able to do is increase the size of the tree farm by 4 trees. So a 50% increase in speed, in size. So that we can now generate a lot more trees. So the Elven mana spreaders have a larger range, and they're also faster. However, they do not go on a redstone pulse like the pulse mana spreaders do. So what I had to do is I had to change our redstone a bit so that we are nodding our redstone signal now. Instead of pulsing the mana spreaders, we are giving them a redstone signal all the time. So a regular mana spreader that's not a pulse mana spreader will be shut off with a redstone signal. So here where I was putting the pulse in order to pulse the mana spreaders, I'm just giving it a constant redstone signal, and then our hovering hourglass is just basically applying a knot to those torches, cutting off the redstone signal for a second, basically allowing it to pulse. So that's it. That's the change I made to the tree farm. It is bigger now. One problem that we have is because it's bigger, our hopper hawk no longer reaches the outskirts of the tree farm, so we end up with saplings sitting out here. Oh, and there's another improvement I made as well. We always have a surplus of saplings, so and I wanted to be able to generate a little bit more mana. So I lowered the floating munch dews down 1 block, so they're now grabbing more leaves. I do need to make the tree farm probably even bigger still, which means we might need another mana pool out here, and I'll show you why. That is because we're now producing more mana than we were before, because not only do I have more endoflames, but I've changed the setup over here, and we're going to make another change to it in a bit. The change I made is that instead of dropping charcoal, we are now dropping charcoal blocks, and we're using the crafty crate to do that, and I'll talk about that in a second. But the reason I did this is because when the open crate, or the crafty crate for that matter, drops something, there's about a 3-second delay before any of the endoflames will pick it up. So then what happens is that not all of our endoflames are running because the coal isn't coming out fast enough to feed all the endoflames, because they're burning up the coal faster than it's being dropped. There's a couple solutions, of course, to that. One would be more open crates set out and have more pressure plates and have, kind of replicate the setup a couple more times. What I chose to do was to make it into charcoal blocks, which means it takes the endoflames a lot longer to burn them. I've reversed the redstone so that it is now giving this hopper a redstone signal. So I've got a double knot down here, a double knot gate, so that when the pressure plate is activated, that torch down there turns off, which allows this torch to be turned on, which goes into this block, which disables this hopper, so that the hopper will not insert anything into the crafty crate as long as there is something on the pressure plate. There's a couple advantages to this setup. One is that, of course, we're producing more mana now. And I actually had to set up another mana spreader. I upgraded this one to an Elven mana spreader. Oh, that's what's going on. We are full. Okay. So this is showing one of the limitations of the system, which we'll get into in a second and we're going to fix. So we've got an Elven mana spreader here so that it's able to spread faster, but even that wasn't fast enough to keep up. We had to set up... I just took the other mana spreader that I replaced and I put it over here, and I've got a couple of the endoflames linked to that one, but most of them are linked to the endoflame. So we can actually set up more endoflames out here and produce more mana, which I'm going to do. But before I do that, there's 2 things I want to do. One, I want to make our mana battery bigger, because we've only got these 3. 2, I want this thing to automatically turn off when this mana pool is full, because now that we're using blocks of charcoal, Losing a block of charcoal every 5 minutes is a little bit more significant than losing a piece of charcoal every 5 minutes. I mean, it's still not a terribly big deal, but whatever. I want to be efficient about this. We place a comparator by our mana pool, facing away from it. It's going to output a redstone signal based on how full the mana pool is. So right now our mana pool is entirely full, so we're getting a redstone signal of 15. And we want to bring this redstone signal over here when it's 15, and we want to input it into this block, but only when it's exactly 15. So we're going to have to move some of our endo flames out of the way here, but so we want to take this, since it's now full, it'll be easy for us to test this because we want to go until our redstone power is exactly 1. Actually, I think we're going to have to go this far over. So now we're at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Oh crap. No. Yeah, 3. And we want to go into that block. So I guess what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this guy. And I'm just going to put it right there. I don't think the redstone signal is going to affect these guys, so we don't have to worry about that. And then I'm going to put a block right there. Actually, we're going to need 2 blocks over here. And I'm going to put the repeater going into here. So we want to make sure that when the mana pool is full, the redstone strength right here is exactly 1. So right now it is 3, so we're going to have to do that. So that should bring it down to 2. No, that brings it down to 1. Okay. Yeah, perfect. All right. So when it's 15 here, it's 1 here. So this is a little bit ugly, but, you know, whatever. It's vanilla redstone. Actually, can we just bring this whole thing over to kind of clean this up a little bit? Or is that going to... Yeah, that puts us at power 1. So now the hopper is going to be basically disabled because it's going to have a redstone signal, regardless of whether or not we have anything on the pressure plate, so as you can see. So one of the advantages to this setup is that we no longer have to throw something on the pressure plate. Okay, so I made a slight adjustment. I just made it so that it's getting a power 3 over here when it's full. Oops. That way, it'll let this mana pool get a little bit empty. Otherwise, it's just too sensitive. Yeah, so it should not produce any more charcoal blocks until this mana pool is down by about 5% or so. I also put up an Elven mana spreader out here. Actually, and I kept the other mana spreader, but I added an Elven mana spreader. So we now have 2 mana spreaders going into our runic altar. And because they're both next to the mana pool and they're both next to the runic altar, it's going to make things go really, really fast here. So I'm going to... Oh, actually, I need some Man of Steel. I'm making some runes. What did I do here? Oh, mana powder. Because I want to make a Rod of the Shifting Crust. And one of the reasons I want to make a Rod of the Shifting Crust is to make picking up living rock more easily. And then also, of course, has lots of other uses. The Rod of the Shifting Crust is... basically a block replacement kind of thing. A block break and replace thing. So we need a Rune of Sloth, which requires air and autumn. Let's see, autumn requires fire and air, leaves, and spider eyes. This is a tier 2 rune. Wait, no, it's not. This is still a tier 1. But we can see how you can just see how fast that progress bar goes. That's nice. So this is a 3rd tier rune. We'll see how fast this is. Look at that. Nice. Oh, that's awesome. Here we go. Rod of the Shifting Crusts. Nice. So the Rod of the Shifting Crusts, we can... It works a lot like the swapping wands from other mods. We can shift right click on that, and then when we right click on this, it replaces them all and it drops them out in the world. So rather than putting it directly in your inventory, it just drops it in the world. But still, that's quite nice, because look at that. And then we can, of course, do the same thing here. If we just put one block of wood. You can shift right click on that, and then right click on that, and then they're all replaced. Nice. Of course, you can imagine the things we can use this for in building and stuff, and it has a very large range. Look at that. And of course, it uses a little bit of mana in your inventory. And of course, it'll remember what I did previously, so I can just come up to here now and go like that. Nice. That makes it so much nicer. It's too bad you can't give these things to living avatars, because that would be a really nice way to automate this, if you could just have a living avatar standing here pointing at those blocks. Yeah, that would be cool. I'm just going to add a couple more mana pools over here. Well, 3 more, but I only have 2 sparks for now, but that's okay. We'll just set 2 of them up, and then we should see that our mana is going to run into these pools right away, and then we've got our blocks of coal or charcoal are being generated again. Nice. And you can see when you hover over this thing with the Wand of the Forest in your hand, you can see the inventory inside of it. Also, if you shift, one probe will tell you, give you the inventory inside of it too in the upper left-hand corner, but it doesn't tell you where it is in the grid. Of course, you can use these things to do all kinds of different crafting recipes, not just blocks like this, by adding items in the correct sequence to go from top left, from left, right, top down. and then there are also placeholders you can give it that will basically act as empty spaces in the crafting recipes. So, wow, these 2 are almost, well, yeah, they're half full because they emptied out this guy. So, of course, our redstone signal is now only 1 because we only have a little bit of mana in there. So you've probably already seen me do this, but this is what a fell pumpkin gives us. Gives us a blaze that drops 6 blaze powder every time. So there's no wondering how much it's going to drop. There, now we just doubled our mana battery. I'll probably make this even bigger still, but for now I just want to do this because our tree farm isn't producing wood quite as fast as our endo flames are burning it, so I don't want to go too crazy, although we have a lot of wood stored up right now, so maybe I will. Maybe I will go a little crazy. Another convenience item I want to make is a lens clip. Now that we can make dreamwood, let's see, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dreamwood. So I'm going to grab 5 living wood. I'm going to put it in here. So the lens clip, so right now, in order to change the lens in our mana blaster, we have to pull the lens out. And then we have to put the other lens back in. And then we're storing all these things in our inventory. The lens clip is going to allow us to store multiple. It's going to allow us to store multiple lenses. Love that. So now we have a lens clip and it has 6 slots. So when we go like this, we see that one of our slots now has the bore lens, and now one. So right now we have the bore lens selected. I shift right clicked and that put us into the next empty slot. So now I can fill that empty slot with the damaging lens. So now when we shift right click, we go to the next slot. We're now in an empty slot. We have we just have mana. And then we shift right click again, we're on the bore lens. We shift right click again, we're on the damaging lens. And it'll toggle through our 2 lenses and an empty slot. There we go. Now we have a much larger mana battery. We've tripled the size of our mana battery today. Hooray! And I'm going to make a few more endo flames too. We will, in the future, we will be looking at some other mana generation, but right now I'm just going to stick with endo flames just because we've got a good infrastructure set up for it. So we're running a little low on brown petals, and I don't think I've showed you yet in this series, but you can produce more petals. This is one of the reasons that at the very beginning I wanted to make sure that I got one of each flower, and I wasn't concerned about getting a lot more than that. I just wanted to make sure I had at least one of every flower, because once you have a petal, you can produce as many flowers as you want, as long as you have bone meal. So every flower you plant gives you a double high flower, or a double tall flower, a tall mystical flower, that you can break with a shears. Of course, you do need a shears for these. And of course, these will each give you 4 petals. So, and then we can just keep multiplying that as many times as we want. So I don't know if you've seen this in action yet, our petal apothecary with the with our automation, but this is basically how it works in action. So we've got our recipe set up, and we throw our seed in there. We get our endoflame. We back up. We let this drop, and then we listen for 2 clicks, and then we can do our next one. So as soon as the water's in there, we can right-click to set up the recipe, but we don't want to throw the seed in there until we hear that second click. I've got 10 endoflames. We might actually end up needing another mana spreader after this, but our mana seer's monocle, this is going to go on our bubble slot, in our eye, in the yeah, I guess that's the charm slot. And what that's going to do while we're wearing it is it's going to allow us to see things that we might not otherwise be able to see. Such as, well, of course we can already see mana bursts. It's going to let us see the range of flowers, so we can see how far these guys will reach for. So it looks like we're just on the edge here of how far we can put flowers in order to grab from that spot. So we can actually get one more flower over here. Okay, I'm gonna make some better weapons now. Hooray! Actually, one better weapon. I need to set up something to make this a little bit easier. I'm gonna make a couple of Terra steel ingots. So this is one of the things that we're gonna be doing with all that mana. Oh, look at how fast that is! Nice. Because it's pulling mana from every one of those mana pools up there, and this one, and these two, it's really fast. I don't know if you remember what it was like the first Terra Steel ingot we made and how long it took, but this is very fast. Nice. So that was about a full mana pool that would have taken. And we are going to make a Terra Blade. Oh. So this is kind of the next tier weapon. We made first we made our mana sword, and then we made our elementium sword. The elementium sword does give us pixies, but whatever. This is cool. Remote paranoia. Arm yourself with a weapon made of Terra Steel. So this is kind of the first of the Terra Steel weapons. This is going to be the base. We can make a few other things with this weapon. It's the Terra Blade. It's basically equivalent to diamond. However, it does have a chance of doing kind of a range weapon thing where it does that, and it does as much damage as the melee attack, but it doesn't happen every time. Oh, but it does happen pretty often, doesn't it? Wow. Nice. Okay. And of course, I want to see what kind of enchantment we can get from this because it's Terra Steel. It has a nice, oh, sweeping edge 3. That's actually pretty nice. Okay. Let's grab some oh wait, I didn't have enough XP. I need one more level of XP. Okay, so I'm gonna take that enchant, but first let's go out and kill some stuff with this thing just out of the box. So let's see how much damage that did if we run up to this guy. So it did a fair amount of damage. We still have pixies because of the because of the armor. Because we still have our elementium armor. Oh, it still takes quite a few hits, doesn't it? Yeah. So sweeping edge, I mean, you know how just regular vanilla swords will hit multiple mobs at once. But only the mob you hit will take the full damage. All the other mobs only take like 1 hit point or something of damage. Sweeping Edge will increase the amount of damage that delivers. So we're now 3 hitting mobs. Let's see if we can get that down to 2 hits soon. But I really want to get some Ender Pearls. That's one of the reasons I want this weapon, is so that I can go out and get Ender Pearls more easily, because we don't really have a good way to do mob farms in this pack. So that's kind of going to be a manual process for us most of the time. So I was actually able to 3-hit zombies with this thing from a range, which will probably take a little more. Yeah, 4 hits to a witch. Nice. Oh, and it's fast too. Oh my gosh. 1.6. Not a single Enderman spawned all night long out here. Let's see what we get. We've got a sharpness 2 here, so let's hope that we get it here too. Oh, we got sharpness 3. Oh my god. Sharpness 3, looting 3, and sweeping edge. Oh my god. That. Wow. So let's fix this tree farm where we have the stray stuff on the outer edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so that one should be picking up saplings that are here, but not here. That's the main thing I'm concerned about, actually, is the saplings. Okay, so that got picked up. This one is not getting picked up. I have a design that shouldn't interfere with the tree growth and should have a smaller footprint. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the open crate there. We're going to put a pressure plate down here. We're going to put a hopper hock here. We're going to put a repeater right here, facing the block the hopper hock is on. And then whenever we're standing on the pressure plate, this thing is getting power. So we're going to put an open crate there. And if we throw something... Let's just throw a couple of those there. If we throw a sapling out here, out of the range... Okay, the hopper hock picked it up. It put it on that pressure plate, which causes the hopper hock to stop picking things up, which should allow... Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So we can then bury this. Put those out there. They should get picked up. They're down there now. Eventually, they should end up over there. When that thing trick. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Perfect. We could do a floating flower there too. I actually made one of them floating because I was experimenting with some different ways to make this more compact. But it really doesn't matter whether it's floating or not. It's still going to be the same behavior. So actually, just for fun, I want to throw some apples over here too. So they should first get picked up by that hopper hock. I don't know why it's taking so. Okay. And then eventually, we should see, yep, they got picked up. I just saw the number go up to 1069 from 1066. Cool. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. All right, I'm a little anxious to see how much damage we're going to do now. We're doing 9 damage, so we still require 3 hits. I'd like to get that up to 10. So first of all, I want to see if sharpness affects the range damage. No, it doesn't seem to. Okay. Nice. This thing's actually pretty fast. Let me kill you too. Oh, look at that. We got 2 of them because we have looting. Ooh, that should help us with ender pearls too. If any freaking endermen spawn tonight. Oh my gosh, I finally found some endermen. Holy crap. Yeah, there we go. That was better. Oh my god, I got 3 ender pearls. 3 ender pearls from 1 enderman. That's nice. Wow. Nice. That's amazing. And that range attack actually works against endermen too, which is really nice. I mean, unlike a bow or something where they would teleport away. See that? I didn't actually touch him. I didn't even realize I had another Sharpness 3 book. I guess I'm going to use it. I was going to save it for mana enchanting later, but yeah, let's do it. I'm getting some blaze rods because I'm going to be making a little catalyst that requires some blaze rods. That's going to allow us to multiply some of our resources, including nether quartz. Oh! Wow. This makes it so easy. Because even if I'm like, because it's the same action to melee as it is to range, so it's, yeah, it's nice. All I have to do is point at my enemy and left click. So you may remember a few episodes ago we made this Alchemy Catalyst, which allows us to turn things into other things when we put it under our mana pool. For instance, actually I don't have anything I can alchemize here, but for instance we can turn cactus into slime and stuff like that. I had to make another Alchemy Catalyst, like so that we can make a Conjuration Catalyst. This one requires some elementium and some pixie dust, so I need to use yet another ender pearl. And 6 iron ingots. Oops. 6 iron ingots so that we can make 3 elementium. Oh, and then some more living rock. And there we go. Conjuration Catalyst. For a fairly hefty price of mana, when we put this guy under our mana pool, and we throw another quartz in there, we get 2. So it basically produces nether quartz from mana, and lots of other things too, including glowstone. So, you know, we can drop all these in there. I can drop a whole stack in here. I'll end up with 2 stacks. So when we look in JEI, it shows the catalyst to the left that we would use. So we can use our Alchemy Catalyst to turn our fish into other fish. And we can turn seeds into just about any seeds. We can turn poisonous potatoes into potatoes. We can turn blade rods into nether quartz. I don't know why you'd want to do that. Gunpowder to flint and vice versa. We can make name tags from books and quills. We can get string, and so on and so forth. So there's all these different things that we can do with our Alchemy Catalyst. And then when we get to our Conjuration Catalyst, you can see that we can duplicate redstone, glowstone, nether quartz, coal, snowballs, netherrack, soul sand. So all these things that we can get more of. So mostly I wanted this for nether resources so that we don't always have to go into the nether so much. I'm going to set up another piston over here. But actually, before I do that, there's another quality of life improvement I'd like to do. I would like to move this stuff in the house. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that dominant thing and turn it into a recessive one. And then I'm going to put a mana pool over here. So that way we don't have to be running in and out and stuff when we're crafting things, because all of our stuff is right here and all of our mana crafting will be over here. So I ran into a little problem with the updates that we made over here. Because I ended up moving this 1 block closer, it ended up picking up mana from the nearby mana pools, which extended the range, which meant that it kept picking up the saplings over there and not allowing them to be placed. So what I'm going to do, rather than setting up another complicated timer over here, is I'm going to make them both floating flowers. Oh, actually, that's a floating magenta flower. We want to combine that with the hopper hawk to make a floating hopper hawk. And then I'm going to right click on it with an infestation spore, which is basically just a mushroom dropped in a mana pool. And that basically puts podzol on it, which delays the pickup of things. So it's still going to pick this up every once in a while, but it's going to be delayed. Like it'll allow the rain and carpus to pick them up first and plant them. Very busy tree farm. We were running out of wood, and I couldn't figure out why. I came out here, and there were no saplings planted, so that's what was going on. It means that the saplings are going to sit out here longer when they fall out of the range, but, you know, whatever. That's fine. All right, there we go. That mana pool is still out there, and it's full of mana, but I'm going to put a spark on this one, and then I'm going to take the dominant spark out of this one. You can just shift right-click on it with your Wand of the Forest, and I'm going to put a recessive spark in there just to empty it out, because if we try to pick that up, of course, we're going to lose all the mana, and we don't want to lose all the mana. So as you can see, it's all going back into the mana battery, and some of it's going over here because this one doesn't have an augment, but once we put the dominant augment in here, everything will come over here. Although we're not going to be able to see the flow through the wall. I almost want to put like some kind of a hole here, like maybe a chimney sort of thing, just so that we can see the mana kind of drifting in there because it looks cool. I have one more quality of life improvement I want to make. Oh, right, our stuff is not out here anymore. And I have all this stuff over here now, and I have the catalysts on the sides, and our runic altar right there. It's a little bit cramped, but I think it's okay. So I'm going to need 2 mana pearls, 2 mana diamonds, and 1 mana steel, because I'm going to make a Terra steel over here. I recessed this in the ground now so that it should be a little bit easier for us to get the stuff on there now. Yeah. So I need one. I need 1 mana steel. There we go. Oh, that's so fast. Nice. And then I'm going to be making a mana mirror. Hooray! That's what I decided to do. So we take our mana mirror and we shift right click on a mana pool, and this mirror is now linked to that pool forever and ever and ever, and no matter where we go, we're going to have access to that mana. So we no longer have to carry a band of mana. We no longer have to worry about running out of mana while we're out and about, because it's all going to be with us all the time, everywhere. This mana here, as long as this chunk is loaded. So I'm just going to take this band of mana and I'm going to drop it in here. Actually, let me just make sure that this is going to take from mana sources into the pool. So I'm going to put it in this recessive pool. It's going to drain it, and then that mana will be accessible to our system. And I can just take that band of mana and put it somewhere else. I mean, store it or whatever. We don't need it anymore. But as you can see, my mana bar is completely full, and it's always going to be because that is a dominant mana pool. It's pulling from all of our mana battery, so like we're gonna have access to our mana from home. This whole network of mana and all this mana gen wherever we go. So one last thing for real this time. I'm gonna make a mana flux field. A mana flux field allows us to generate mana. Allows us to generate RF, or forge energy, from mana. It is the only RF generation available in this pack, and I'm going to be using it to set up a refined storage system. I'm going to do that off camera. That's not going to really be part of the series because it doesn't necessarily have to do with Botania, but just to be able to better manage our inventory. That's all I'm going to be using it for right now. I'm not going to be using it for automation because we're doing everything with Botania. However, later on in the series, I am going to be doing some rune crafting automation, or auto crafting, Terra Steel auto crafting, elf trading. I'm going to basically be auto crafting everything in Botania using refined storage after we've done a lot of the automation that we can do with Botania. So just so that we can have that be a part of this, because I know that a lot of us, when we're playing Botania, we're usually playing also with either refined storage or applied energistics or something like that. But that's not what we're going to do in the next episode. We're going to make Terra Steel armor, and I think we're going to go visit the end. So I do hope you join me for that. If you do have any questions, comments, ideas, whatever, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And of course, if you did enjoy this, don't forget to click the like button. And to join me next time, thanks for watching. Bye.